Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Hello. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I'm still battling with this cough. Good evening. How are you? Hey, homie. I think I'm not going to even wait till 5:03. I'm going to just get started, y'all. Greetings, greetings. All right, it's 5:02, so I'm going to get started. This is not an easy subject for me. This is a rough one. However, I'm equipped. I guess I was made for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and get it in. I am Monique, and I thank you for coming on. If you would love, I would love if you would share, like, and bring people on in, because the reality is, honor can be difficult. Everybody doesn't have the hallmarked relationship with their parents or whoever. For me, it was my parent, my mom. We just don't have it. I have tried over and over and over again. We just don't have it. And so I had to, during this process of being heavy on the self-love, one of the things that I had to deal with was that relationship, was that trigger, was processing that, because I do have a child. And one thing we know, that whatever you don't heal from, your children will deal with. And I don't want my daughter's version of the story to be, my mother and I don't have a good relationship. So I had to work on the brokenness in me in order that her story not be my story, but because she will have a version of the story, right? And so this is not to bash, this is to talk about the process that I've had to deal with to move forward in healing. And like I said, this is part of my healing journey. So how do you give honor when you are disliked or hated? So the first thing I had to do was look at what is honor. And honor can either be a noun or a verb. In the noun form, it means high respect and to give great esteem. In the verb, it means to regard with great respect, fulfilling or keeping an agreement. And I was like, I never thought about honor like that. But like when you go to the grocery store and you buy, you're honoring that transaction by paying for it. So it becomes an action. So I never thought about honor as being both a noun and a verb. So that I appreciated learning that. And so then it was, well, how do you show honor? Honor can be shown by respect, by valuing, appreciating, valuing their advice, accepting their authority, providing for them, and recognizing their role, and to grant grace. I was like, man, okay, that grant grace was deep. And but it all sums up to honor means to, by giving what is required. And that made me think about Romans 13, chapter 13, verse 7. And it says, give what you owe. So if you owe taxes, pay taxes. If you owe revenue, pay revenue. If you give respect, if it's respect that's required, you give the respect. If it's honor, then you give the honor. So the next I thought about, well, who in the scriptures are we required to honor? And we all know the first thing, of course, is to honor your parents, right? That's Exodus 20 and 12. Then it also tells us to honor the elderly, Leviticus 19 and 32. Then church leaders, which is 1 Timothy 5:17. This one got me. Everyone deserves honor. That's 1 Peter 2:17. It made me just think, God is not a respecter of person. He doesn't show favoritism. So that made sense that honor is due to everyone. You don't get to just pick and choose who you should give honor to. You give it to everybody. And so why do we honor? And in most cases, you'll get people, like if you ask, honor, according to Romans 13:5, it says, not because of punishment, but as a matter of consciousness. So we do it not because we're fearing that we're going to be punished for not doing it. We do it because it's who we are. It's a matter of our consciousness. It's just who we are to our core. So, one of the things with moving to the South was the whole yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. In the North, people, you're going to get looked at weird, or you might even get cussed out. I remember working at McDonald's, and I said to this man, yes, sir. He was like, ma'am. Because it's not the same type of vibe as it is in the South. So now that we've talked about the who, the why, let's now talk about the how. How to honor someone who does not like you or hate you. And for me, this is how Monique LaShawn has been able to process this. I had to do this in 3 phases. The first one is setting boundaries. The second one was to find a common ground. And the third is knowing when to let go. So with setting boundaries, it doesn't matter if it's with your parents or whomever it is. You cannot allow yourself to be abused. And that abuse is verbally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, or mental. You are responsible for you. You are responsible for what you allow people to say to you and do to you. You can't control what a person says, but you can control continuing to sit at the table while it's being said to you. At this big grown age. I'm not talking about little kids. Little kids, that's a whole different thing, right? Because I had to endure it when I was a child. So an example of setting a boundary as an adult is we have to stop trying to people please, but make sure our goal is to be pleasing to God. And that's 1 Thessalonians 2 and 4. You just honestly gotta stop trying to get them to get their praise. I would love to hear, great job, Monique. I would love to hear, I'm proud of you, but I'm not going to get it. And I'm just not going to get it. Not from that person. So you got to move on. And the second thing is, so we first got to stop people pleasing, but making sure that the goal is to please God. And if you're pleasing God, who can be against you? But also number 2 of setting boundaries. These are steps to setting boundaries that I've worked on for me. The second one is set and enforce the boundary. So an example of that would be, don't speak to me that way. And, you can't tell me you have to already have in your mind the if then. Don't announce the if then, because then it would become combative. But you got to know that if the person doesn't stop speaking to you or doing whatever it is you don't want them to do, then it's time for you to remove yourself. So, but you don't have to say, well, if you don't stop talking to me, then I'm going to leave. You don't have to say that. Just know it for yourself. Just set that boundary in your head for you. So if they choose not to, then I'm not saying you got to leave the house, you got to do any of those things, but what you may have to do is remove yourself from that conversation, remove yourself from the space. And so the next thing is number 3. Don't try to change them, and respect their limitations. So like I said, I'll never hear, I'm proud of you. So I accept that. I'm not trying to change that anymore. So what I had to learn that honor and accepting people by not trying to change them. So I accept who you are. I accept how you operate. But I also have a right as an adult to leave you there. I don't have to try to put, if this is all that's just like the store. You go to the store, if a loaf of bread is $1 and you only have 99 cents, you don't have the currency. We can't move any further. So we have to be okay with, I love you, but I got to leave you right here. I have to leave you where you are. Number 4 is be mindful of what you share. I say this all the time. Get you a crew. Have you some people that you can be accountable for. I got some people I can call up. I can text. It don't matter the time, day or night. They are there for me, and the vice versa. And because everybody can't handle everything, and everything is not for everybody. And I don't believe in the whole moving in silence that you see people, move in silence. But with some people, excuse me, with some people, we do have to move in silence. Yes. Some people, we have to move in silence. So I'm releasing weight. I try not to say lose weight, because anything you lose, for me, I find again. So I'm releasing the attachment to why I am overweight. So with that, there are some people that will know me when I was 232 pounds, and the next time they see me again will be when I met my goal weight, right? You don't get to know the process. Then there are those that know the process. So you got to know who can know your process. So you got to be mindful of what you share. Everything can't be shared with everybody. You just can't. And then have an exit strategy. When your bound, as soon as your boundary, once you stated, hey, don't do this, you put the boundary out there. See, what we have to understand, the boundary is not for other people. The boundary is for us. Because like I said, that if then, you don't tell them, if you don't stop, then I'm going to, that's for you. You set that for yourself. So you have to create an exit plan, and you can create your exit plan without an explanation. You don't have to explain. It's just time for me to leave. It's time for me to remove myself from this conversation. And my daughter and I, we have an exit code. So if we're somewhere, because she has to also feel safe and loved in the environments as well. So we have a code word. And once that code word is Okay, it's time to go. We do the color purple. Time to go. And it's time to go because her mental health is paramount to me. It's because I don't want her to be in her 40s dealing with and trying to process traumas from her childhood. And too many of us that look like me are dealing with childhood traumas. And we're told to suck it up, buttercup. No. The days of being broken, the days of, no, we're just not doing no more suck it up, buttercup. We're releasing and we're moving on. The second thing, so that those were the strategies for setting the boundaries. The second thing was find your common ground with this person. So, with my mom, the common ground, we can talk about Jesus. We can talk about gardening. We can talk about recipes. We can talk about the church. We can talk about some things. What we can't talk about is Nadia in some cases. We can't talk about even things that have occurred in the past. And when she does those things, I'm not rude. Please don't ever get it. I'm not rude. I'll let her say. But then that's my cue that, okay, this conversation is going in a direction that's not healthy for me. And so since it's not healthy for me, because I can't afford to go back to where I didn't pray, not days, not hours, years to be released from. Because I had to be prostrate all over the floor, all over the bed. And I had to unattach myself from people and places. Y'all, if I start crying, just ignore the tears because this is a real subject for me. My being healed and whole is real. It's not fake. Not fake at all. And I'm not going back for nobody or nothing. So you got to know your common ground and know where you can and cannot talk about and tread. And I just don't do it anymore. Now, the hard thing for me is knowing when to let go. I have not mastered this at all. I'm a work in progress in this phase of it. The other ones I kind of got. This one is hard because I wake up every conversation. I'm hoping that it's going to be, I'm going to bite the golden apple, right? But I never know what side of the apple is going to come. And so, I had to learn that there's a difference between loyalty and toxicity. And for years, I lived under a love that was toxic. I was in an abusive marriage because I associated with getting my tail whooped with love. I thought, well, if this person beat the dog snot out of me, then it's okay. Getting the dog snot out of you is how a person show love. You beat the dog snot out of me, but you pay my bills. You beat the dog snot out of me. And so I had to really just let it go. Let that go. I'm sorry, y'all. And I had to, another way you know when it's time to let go is if when you leave that person's presence, you need to pray because you are so broken. Then you have to reevaluate the access to you. And so what I mean by that is we all got a front door, right? So let's say every day at 10 a.m., it don't matter, rains, don't matter the time of the year, but every day at 10 a.m., you're going to get socked in the face. Every day. 10 a.m., boom. What you going to do? You know it's coming. Every day at 10 a.m., you're going to get bust in your face. And I had to learn, but I got to get out the house. So how do I stop getting bust in the face at 10 a.m.? I don't got to go out the front door. I got a back door. I got a garage. I could also leave at 9:59. You got to create that. You got to recreate how not to get hit in the face. And when you see the punch back, you got to learn how to duck, or you just learn how to navigate. Like I said, you go out the back door because they only can hit you at the front door. So when you know that, you got to do it different. You can't, because if you don't, then now you're insane. Now I'm going to be looking at you, the window. Yes, ma'am. So with all that, there comes a point where you have to love from afar. And so loving from afar may look like when I come into town, I don't stay with you. I come and visit you. I come and I take you out to lunch. We can do dinner. We can laugh. But I can't sleep in your house. Because I still have a responsibility to you. Because I'm going to honor you. I most definitely will honor you. I'm going to call and check on you. And calling and check on you can be, I call you every day. But the calling you may be, hello? Hey, Ma, how you doing? Okay, I was just checking to make sure you're still in the land of the living. That's my joke. That's not disrespectful. I say that to everybody. Just wanted to make sure you was in the land of the living. All right, I'll talk to you later. That's okay. That's okay. And then Romans 12:18 says, if at all possible, be peaceful with all men. That means there are some people you can't be peaceful with. It's just some people it's not possible. It's unfortunate. And so when you put all those scenarios together and all that together, sometimes the best that you can give a person for respecting them is your absence. And the absence may come, like I said, in forms of you. I don't sit on the phone for you to belittle me. I don't spend the night at your house so you can dog me out. I don't, we're not going to have conversations about why I still don't have a man. We're going to keep it moving because I have to because my triggers are my responsibility. But people who love me make sure they don't hit my triggers. Once you know that something's a trigger, you don't deliberately go out of your way to try to hit it. So that's it, y'all. That's what I have. That's how I feel today. October 30th at 5:22. That's where I'm at. Next year, this time, I might have a whole different, I may have mastered the walk away. Let me also say, I will never walk away from my mother. But I have to walk away from the ideology of what I wanted her to be. I'm not going to get that. And so that's not my trigger. I mean, that's not my responsibility because I can't change her. Sorry, I'm reading the things. That's why I'm not supposed to read the the comments. But I thank you guys for letting me be real with y'all and be honest about my struggles. I wish I had a Hallmark, and me and my mama, we best friends and we matching shirts. He didn't give me that. And maybe when I sit there at his feet, he'll explain it one day. But some things is not my concern. Sometimes we try so hard to try to figure out the why. Because see, when we're picking at the why, then we start picking at us. Well, maybe if I change this about myself. Maybe if I... Nope. I'm sorry that I'm just not your cup of tea. And that's okay. I don't like coffee. I don't like chocolate. But it's okay that you like coffee and chocolate. And the same go for people. I will never allow myself to be taken out of myself. I'm going to always be authentically who I am, unapologetically who I am, because I hated this person for a long time. And I was looking to men. It's grace and mercy. I don't have a needle stuck in my arm. I tell people that all the time. Grace and mercy. Because I wanted to hear, I love you. Great job. You're amazing. And so I looked forward at men. And they didn't love me. They loved what I could do. They loved what I could give them. But they didn't love me. And so that became the root. So I'm unrooting me. So I just thank you guys. But honor is important. God requires us to honor. But as one of the sisters said, it's mutual. And when you can't get that honor that you need, you can't get that respect you need, you got to make some decisions, some different types of decisions. But at the end of the day, my favorite gospel song is It Is Well With My Soul. And so whatever you do, make sure at the end of the day, you can hear it is well with my soul. You can say that. And you've operated in a place of where you can hear God say, well done, good and faithful. because that's where I'm at. I just want to, now I want to hear from him, well done. So that's why I said, make sure that we're not trying to get it from man, but get it from God. All right, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, Lord, the thing is stuck, y'all.